Today on Cloud Renegade, we're going to talk about getting better at business basics and specifically communication. Hey y'all, Adam Ball here, Cloud Renegade. Today we are going to kick off a new video series on something I'm calling Better at Business Basics. Over the past few years, I've really just noticed a lot of trends in whether it's you're just starting out in your career, later on in your career, that of things that I see that are, I just want people to be able to be better at, things that I see in myself that I recognize as things I should be doing better in business. And so what my goal is with this video series is to just take a few minutes of your day and to break down some of the ideas that I have on better business basics. So things that we should all be doing that make business better, and hopefully this will make your life better, your engagements in your professional lives better, because this doesn't really always apply just to business, but business is where we can apply them first and get better at them. So first off, I'm going to jump into this with communication. So communication is one of those topics that we talk about in business all the time. Like it's funny how as leaders, we'll talk amongst ourselves and say, why is this person not communicating better? And a lot of times it starts with us. Are we communicating well? And when I say this, there's lots of areas that we could dive into this, whether it's email etiquette, messaging etiquette, etc. I'm going to even go further and break this down to its root level of just timeliness of communications. And whether that means that you're sending that communication, whether it be email, picking up the phone, etc., are you communicating in a timely manner? And I see this a lot, and I know myself right now can speak to this, understanding, does that communication need to happen now? Does it need to happen today? Or can it just happen whenever is a really key thing. Also with communications is the idea of how frequent should it be. So let's talk about the first one of being able to identify, does a communication need to be responded to immediately within the day or just whenever you can get back to it? And there's those three types, and there's probably more, but you can comment down below if you think there's more or that you think I missed one. But there's always these levels of communications that we need to be thinking about. If I get an email or if I get a message, somebody leaves me a voicemail, sometimes I just need to acknowledge that it's happened to them, and then I can come back to it. Other times I need to prioritize it because maybe it's an emergency, maybe it's something that's really urgent. And being able to discern that really relies on yourself and being able to understand where people are coming from. If I'm in a customer service role, that might necessitate a sooner callback or a sooner response than if I'm in another role, right? I've had frequently recently these kinds of communications where somebody will send me a communication, and just to set expectation, I just respond really quickly. It's not an in-depth response. I just say, hey, I'm acknowledging that I got your message. I'll get back to it. Here's the timeline for me to get back to it. And I set a reasonable expectation at that point in time. That now allows them to know that they've been heard, that it's not falling on deaf ears, and it sets a timeline for them to now expect a communication back. That really can help me too, because it helps me set my boundaries within the business world. There are going to be other messages that just, you know what, somebody's just checking in, it can come back and you can come back and deal with it in a couple of days. But understanding those first two, does it need to be urgent and it needs to be responded to right away? Or do you just need to set a better expectation, respond really quickly and set an expectation of when you're going to get back to it? Those two are really important. And they kind of tie into this second topic that I want to touch on today, which is this idea of frequency of communications. When you're dealing with a situation or you're working with a customer or something like that, I deal with customers all the time. When I'm working with them, one of the things that's really good, especially as we're going through like a sales cycle or something like that, or an issue has come up, is the frequency of communications. It is never, you're really not able to over communicate. It's really easy to under communicate and to let an email fall off or to not follow up in a timely manner. And all that does is frustrate the people on the other end, the person that you're trying to communicate with. So by simply sending an email, dropping a call, a text, whatever that might be in those situations, especially the more stressful the situation is, if somebody's got a issue that's going on, communicating with them more frequently is very much a better solution than to under communicating. I've actually had a support case that was opened up with a major tech company, and in a 24-hour period, it was a SEVE case. We had systems down, and in a 24-hour period of time, I sent 6 emails back to that tech company to get a response. And it wasn't until I sent my 6th email that I actually got 1 response back. As the customer, that felt terrible. It would have been so simple for that tech and for the tech company to just send back a regular message saying, we haven't made any progress, we'll check in and we'll send you back another email in an hour, 2 hours, whatever that is. Would have been so simple, and it would have alleviated so many issues on our side of stress and knowing when we're going to hear back. Same thing for myself. If I'm working with a customer, sending back an email and just saying, here's our current situation, I'll send you an update by such and such a date, and then doing it and remaining committed to it is a big deal. So this is just a quick snippet of the kinds of videos that I'm planning on doing here as we go forward. I've got a lot of topics queued up. Again, these should be just quick hits, easy to watch, easy to apply, hopefully in your life. Hopefully you found value and see something in it. But these are basics that we should be able to do better. And again, this doesn't matter if you're beginning in your career or a senior level person. We all can do these better. I promise you, there's nobody who does these perfectly. And so with that, thanks. We'll see you next time on Cloud Renegade.